happened in the middle of the night, while everyone was asleep. No one saw it coming. 4 students gone in a way that shocked the entire country. Moscow, Idaho is the kind of place people describe as safe, small. The kind of town where you leave your car unlocked and your doors unbolted. The University of Idaho sits at its center. About 11,000 students, Friday night football, the kind of college life that looks exactly like the brochure. For 4 of those students, it was home. And on the night of November 13th, 2022, it became the last place they would ever. Act 2. The victims. Who they were. Their names were Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogen, and Kaylee Goncalves. Ethan was 20 years old, a sophomore majoring in recreation management. He was at that house visiting his girlfriend, Xana, who lived there. By all accounts, he was one of those people who made every room a little warmer just by being in it. Xana Kernodle was 20. She was studying marketing. She and Ethan had been together for about a year. Her friends described her as loyal, outgoing, the kind of person who showed up for people. Madison Mogen was 21, a junior studying marketing. Maddie, as everyone called her, had been best friends with Kaylee since high school. They came to the University of Idaho together. They were inseparable. Kaylee Goncalves was 21. She had recently been accepted to a job in Austin, Texas. She was planning the next chapter of her life. She had a dog named Murphy. She adored her family. She had everything ahead of her. They shared a house on King Road, just a short walk from campus. It was a typical off-campus rental, 3 floors, a little rundown, full of the easy chaos of college life. On the night of November 12th, they went out. They went to a local food truck at about 1:40 in the morning. They came home. They went to sleep. They never woke up. Act 3. The crime. What happened? Sometime between 4 and 5 in the morning on November 13th, 2022, an intruder entered the house on King Road. What investigators would later determine is that someone came in through an unlocked sliding door on the ground floor, moved through the house, and attacked the 4 students in their rooms. The weapon was a fixed-blade knife. The coroner determined that all 4 died from stab wounds. The cause of death was homicide. 2 other roommates were home that night, on the lower level of the house. They were not harmed. According to investigators, they were in and out of sleep, heard some unusual sounds, but did not fully grasp what was happening until morning. At approximately noon on November 13th, a 911 call came in. One of the surviving roommates called for an unconscious person. When police arrived, they found all 4 victims. The community was devastated. The university closed. Vigils were held. Parents flew in. And investigators, local, state, and federal, descended on Moscow, Idaho to find whoever had. Act 4. The investigation. Finding him. In the weeks that followed, investigators processed an enormous crime scene. They recovered thousands of pieces of evidence: DNA, physical trace material, phone data, and surveillance footage from around the city. One piece of evidence would become the linchpin of the entire case. On a tan leather sheath found near one of the victims, a sheath for a Ka bar-style fixed-blade knife, investigators recovered a DNA sample. They ran it through databases. No match. At that point, the suspect was unknown. But the investigation expanded rapidly. Investigators began pulling cell phone tower data, reviewing surveillance footage from businesses in the area, and tracking vehicle movements. A white Hyundai Elantra had been captured on multiple cameras near the King Road house in the early morning hours of November 13th. Investigators issued a public alert for that vehicle. Tips flooded in from across the country. One of those tips came from a concerned neighbor in Pullman, Washington, about 8 miles from Moscow. He had noticed a white Hyundai Elantra parked strangely near his home. The vehicle was registered to a graduate student at Washington State University. His name was Brian Kohberger. Brian Kohberger was 28 years old. He had recently enrolled in a PhD criminology program at Washington State University, a program focused on studying criminal behavior and the justice system. He had driven across the country from his family home in Pennsylvania to start his program just months before the murders. Investigators began surveilling him. They recovered trash from outside his residence and found DNA that matched the profile from the knife sheath. On December 30th, 2022, 6 weeks after the murders, Brian Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home in Albrights Mill, Pennsylvania, where he had gone to spend the holidays. He was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. Act 5. Justice. The verdict. What followed was one of the most closely watched criminal cases in recent American history. Kohberger's legal team challenged the evidence, argued against the use of forensic genealogy, and sought to suppress key findings.
Today, we are here to finish what you started. Today, you've lost control. Today, we are here to prove to the world that you picked the wrong families. The wrong state, the wrong police officers, the wrong community.
The legal proceedings stretched across 2.5 years. Then, on July 23, 2025, the case reached its conclusion. Brian Kohberger was convicted. The case was fully adjudicated. For the families of Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee, after more than 2 years of waiting, of testifying, of sitting in courtrooms and reliving the worst days of their lives, there was finally a verdict. Whether that verdict brings peace is another question entirely, one that only they can answer. I keep thinking about something simple. 4 people went out on a Friday night, got food, came home, and went to sleep. That's it. That was the whole night. There was nothing extraordinary about it. No warning, no sign, nothing that would have told any of them that this was different from any other night. And that is, in some ways, the hardest part of cases like this to sit with. Not just the violence, not just the conviction, but the randomness of it. The way an ordinary night can become something permanent. Ethan Chapin was 20 years old. Xana Kernodle was 20 years old. Madison Mogan was 21 years old. Kaylee Gonsalves was 21 years old. A courtroom can close a case. It cannot close a wound. For the people who loved these 4, their parents, their siblings, their friends who went to the same university, who walked the same campus, who ate at the same food trucks, July 23, 2025 was an ending of one kind, but not the kind that brings anyone back. I don't have a way to wrap this up neatly. I'm not sure I should try. What I do know is that Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee deserved to live their lives, to graduate, to move to Austin, to fall further in love, to grow old. They didn't get that. And we should say their names and remember who they were a lot more than we talk about the man who took them.